There we go. It's gone. Okay, go for it.
All right, ladies, tonight I'm going to talk to you guys about the Lash Intensity Mascara. Who's tried it?
Ooh, I wear it every day.
Oh, man. All right. What do you guys know about it?
It makes me awesome.
How many mascaras do we have?
4. 5.
Yep. Which is awesome.
Is that the different colors?
We have Lash Love, we have waterproof, we have, Okay, so Lash Intensity Mascara. It has a double impact brush for lashes that look multiplied and exaggerated. It also has a mineral rich high impact pigment, which delivers the perfect shade of black. Okay, so basically how you use this. Okay, the double impact brush, right? So when you take it out and you see the little long bristles and then you see the short bristles, right? Well, the majority of the mascara is on the short bristles, and so you want to start there at the base of your lashes. You want to wiggle back and forth. And then when you turn it 180 degrees, the long bristles come along and comb out the mascara, okay? So you have to look at the brush. I'll pass it around.
So if you actually put your thumb on the Mary Kay,
Yes.
that'll be the short.
Yep. So see how Mary Kay is written right here on the lid? So if you put your thumb there, that's where the short bristles are. So you like apply it that way, and then you turn and it combs it out. So I'll pass it around. So if you guys want to look at it, it does only come in black. Don't use it. I already Okay, so just like your hair, styling your lashes every day can take a toll. So Lash Intensity Mascara is formulated with a pro vitamin B5 to help protect and condition and strengthen lashes. Pro vitamin B5 is commonly used in shampoos and conditioners to attract moisture in the air to bind to the hair. You guys know that? That's fancy. Our mascara is also formulated with an emollient fatty acid compound shown to bind 170% of its weight in water to help prevent lash breakage during makeup removal. That's fancy.
You guys know that? I did not know that.
No, I did not know that either. Plus, the formula contains vitamin E, a well-known protective antioxidant. We love antioxidants, right?
What do they protect against?
Yeah, what do they protect against?
Free
radicals. You're so smart. Okay, so the mascara's brushes, short bristles are designed as the volume zone to create a formula reservoir. Plus, a single reservoir is incorporated without bristles to allow additional formula pickup. With every coat, a healthy dose of mascara gets deposited from the reservoir to the roots of lashes to help build volume. The longer bristles of the mascara create a combing zone designed to give each lash intense individual attention. With each stroke of the brush, precisely placed bristles are engineered to stretch and extend the formula. So you're going to get 200% more volume, which is like putting 2 lashes attached to your eyelash. And you're going to get 84% more length, okay? And it's $18, and that's about it. Any questions? Oh, I did have a couple customers with a problem where their lashes would get so long that they would get black. Their lashes would touch their eyes and it would get black. So a cool tip that I learned is brow gel. If after you put on your Lash Intensity Mascara, if you do 1 coat of brow gel over your lashes, it should keep everything in place and not transfer anywhere. And setting spray.
Wait till it dries.
Brow gel on your lashes. Yep.
Is that the brow gel and eyelash
No,
building serum?
no. The brow gel is like a gel for your brows.
It's clear.
It's clear
It's like a hair gel.
brows, but for your lashes too. Now.
That is really cool. I did not know that.
Yep. So it'll keep it in
Shannon
place.
knows stuff.
So the
man.
finishing spray doesn't really help with
It can help, but the brow gel is just really for your, I mean, it'll just really maximize on your eyelashes as opposed to just a spray for your face.
You put that on after the mascara.
Yes, after the mascara. Yep, let the mascara dry, of course, and then just add 1 coat, and it should be good. Now imagine using lash primer and lash intensity mascara. Bam! Yay! So,
Good stuff.
yep, so that's it. Any more questions?
You guys got to use that stuff. It's
I know,
amazing.
it's
It is
really good.
phenomenal. Yeah, the lash intensity
Yep.
is awesome.
I
So,
use it, but I haven't been using it right, so it's good to know.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you'll see a huge difference. Yes.
oh, you didn't know how to use it. All right. Good job, Jana. Woo! Okay, let's swap. Okay. So, and we do these product knowledge. You guys can start using more of our products because they are phenomenal. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do some quick announcements, and I'm going to share just a little, tiny little snippet. Sorry, I'm grabbing something from our this last weekend. So, all right. Announcements first. First of all, before you do announcements, I know I already gave Stacy and Amy their mini miracle set, but good job, they were our winners. And so was that helpful? So in case you didn't know and weren't involved, I gave away mini miracle sets. I gave away 3. For those of you that watched our director stories, was that cool for you guys to hear the stories from each of the directors? Yes. Did you enjoy them? Yes, they did a good job, right?
Yes.
If you have not already listened, go back and listen to them because it was really cool just to hear the different stories. And this last weekend, we went, Miranda and I both went to Vegas to learn how to be nationals and how to build directors. And so I strategically had all of the directors share their stories and plant that seed because we're looking for directors. Now we're looking for people who want to move up into leadership. And hopefully you got to see that there's no mold. There's no type. Anybody can be a director. That they all came from all different backgrounds. You guys see me and Miranda, we just realized we became directors around the same time. You see us now, like, how many years is it? 12, 13 years later? 13 years later, we are completely different now than we were 13 years ago. And you see us now and you compare, I'm not like her now. Well, you didn't see us 13 years ago. And I love hearing their stories of just how they've grown and that it doesn't matter what type of personality you have, what kind of background you have, anybody can be a sales director and leader in this company if they have a desire and are willing to do the work. So we're looking for leaders. I'm looking for people who are ready to rock and roll and ready to become directors. I'm looking for 25 new Reds like Amanda, 25 people to become Red Jackets by seminar. And of course, we need directors over this next year. So if you have a desire to move up into leadership and you're not already a part of our leaders group, I have a group of leaders of our courageous area, and I'm going to start something really fun in that group starting tomorrow. I'll probably tell you guys about it because we're going to go there too. I want y'all to hear from Amanda, Miranda. If you're not already a part of that group and you have a desire for leadership, let me know. So be sure to watch tomorrow, ladies, because I'm going to up the ante for those of you who really want to do it. I learned some stuff that we got to back up what we say we want. So be ready for that. So there's more to come about that. Okay, so let me go in through the announcements. First of all, our goal this month is I'm doing a $1,000 cash drawing, right? And how do you get entered? Well, first of all, our goal is I'm going to do the drawing when we do 50,000 wholesale this month. That'll keep us on track to finish our goal, set our goal. 40 new bracelet winners, so 40 bracelet winners, so you can earn your bracelet by how? Doing 600 wholesale, right? 600 wholesale, and 30 new consultants. So right now, I need to have it updated, but I think we're about almost halfway through the production. I don't know how many bracelet earners we have, but I know we have about 18 new people. So we're almost 2/3 of the way with the team members. And so, what'd you say? About half. It's a little bit, it's a little bit half. And then so we need bracelet winners or bracelet earners. So you get entered for each new consultant you have, and you get entered for each $200 wholesale order. And then when you earn your bracelet, you get 5 extra entries, okay, into the $1,000 cash drawing. Got it? So you have till the end of the month to do this, 10 days. And I'm also doing a $500 drawing when we have people just listen. Just listen. Now, a lot of you had people listen. I know Marie had, like we said, 20 people listen to the Peek into Pink that I did while I was gone. Now, you need to make sure that they follow up with me because to get entered into the $500 cash drawing, they have to follow up with me and to get their free color item. They do have to just talk to me, and they can tell me they hate Mary Kay and they don't like me. That's fine. But they do have to just, no one's ever said that. No one's ever said that. No one's ever said that. But I'm just saying that they just have to talk to me and tell me what they think, okay? So make sure you have people follow me so you get the entries and they get the entries. There's only a week left in that. So I would set a goal. I mean, Marie had 20 people listen. Now, she did say she messaged 100 people. Did you get that? She messaged 100 people, and what did she tell them? I'm going to Target for my car. I need people to just listen. It works. People are willing to help you out. And granted, there were several people who were not interested. You're going to get that. But she's already got several new people. She has 3 new team members and several people who are interested. So you guys, it's all about having people just listen. All right? So they get 5 entries for coming to an event in person, 2 entries for watching the Peek into Pink. All right? Any questions about that? Y'all want to use it, right? Yeah, who could have 20 people just listen this week? Right? I think you all could. Yeah, Marie's going to have 20 more people listen if you make up your mind. And I am offering for anybody in my unit that goes on Target for their car a new pair of shoes. You get to go shoe shopping with me. If you're local, you get to go shoe shopping. If not, y'all send you a gift card and we'll do something fun later. But anyone who goes on Target for their car gets to go shoe shopping for their new heels as a director. Heels. Mm-hmm. Go on Target for your car. Great question. That is, you only have to have 5 active team members and 5,000 wholesale between you and your team. And Marie is already halfway there. She's already halfway there with her and her team. You guys, it's all about having enough people listen. Yeah, and she just signed up a few weeks ago. So you guys, if you're willing to do the work and have people listen and get this product in people's faces, you can go on Target for your car. And remember, just like I always say, you know, Christina, who's not here tonight, she just had a graduation. She went on Target for her car first 2 weeks in business. What did she do? You guys have heard me say this. What was her activity that I told her to do to go on Target for her car? 40 people. She shared with 40 people in 2 weeks and went on Target for her car and got into DIQ. Write that down. You all didn't know that, and I've said that a lot of times. If you want to go into DIQ and go on Target for your car, share with enough people. And she used the Peek into Pink, and she had as many of them as she could come in person with me. And so that way, you know, they get the $500 cash drawing. You excited to go and Target for your car and be in DIQ? Because we're looking for directors. If you have a desire to finish DIQ by seminar, which any of you could, you have to be in DIQ by June 1st. Okay? Got it? Keep looking at you, right? Sam. Yeah, no pressure. Okay, any questions about that? Got it. Inner circle. You're in inner circle when you're in your bracelet this month, which we're going to have 40 bracelet winners. So we're going to have a ton of people at inner circle. The first Sunday of the month, Christina is our event planner now, and she has a really fun event planned for you guys. So you're not going to want to miss it. The first Sunday of the month. And then those of you that get into your red jacket get to come to the leadership training, which we have another fun event planned for them, right? Beforehand?
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I don't remember. Dude, Janice's been talking about this for a long time. She's wanted to do it for a long time. So those of you that are leaders get to come beforehand. You're not going to want to miss it. So you can come when you get your red jacket, and then you get to come to your circle when you do 600 or more. Right, Jana? We're going to have fun. Yes. Now she remembers what it is. Okay, I think this last thing is that our goal is to sell 1,000 a miracle set 3 days. Did you guys see we're in a little race with my friend Lisa Ann Harmon? Do you like her little head? Yeah, it's my friend. Yeah, I don't do that stuff. But we're behind. Did you see that? We're behind. So we so by June 30th, the contest unit can sell the most miracle sets, and the only way we have to judge it is off of ordering, and so it's based off ordering how many miracle sets you've ordered. Her unit has ordered 92, and we've only ordered 50 this morning. So we got to pick up the pace, people, and get this product on people's faces. And then the losing team buys the winning team pizza at seminar. So you know we don't like to lose.
Is that just the full size or is that the travel size?
Full size. Yeah, because that's the only report we have to pull off of is the price. So we're gonna win, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna pick up the pace, right? And win because. Yes, because I broke it down, and to finish million, we do need to sell 1,000 3D miracle sets to earn the limo ride. Yes.
We need
yes.
the limo,
Got
guys.
a limo. I'm just like, we need the limo. We need it. So it's way more The bus, yes, way more fun. Way more fun. The ones are always way more fun. And I'd never ridden in a limo before Mary Kay, so all of the extra fun things you get to do. All right. Okay, so here are my notes. One thing, so I want to share a little bit, just a tiny bit, because I will put up in a second. I want to hear from Miranda. But you guys know that we just went to this really cool event in Vegas. It was the top of the top people. What did they say? How many people were, I mean, it's like the top 5% of the company or something like that, or 6%.
So the
6%. Yeah, 6% of the 1%. Yeah, 6% of directors are future execs or above. That means they have 3 offspring. So yeah, the top 1% of the company, and then the top 6% of the 1% were at this convention.
So we're like 0.00.
Yeah, something cool. It is. So, but I can just tell you, I'm going to share more with the directors tomorrow, and I'm going to share with my leaders a lot more tomorrow. So be ready for a video on stepping up your game if you want to be a director and really run full out. I'm looking for people who want to run full out these next 44 days. Because here's the deal: is every time I'm in an arena like that, it reminds me to think bigger. That wherever we're at right now, you can do so much more. And I can say that for myself, being the top 6%, 1%, that I know I can do more, and I know if I can do more, we all can do so much more, right? And there are 44 days or 42 days left in our seminar year. Those of you that are brand new, this is like the Super Bowl of Mary Kay, the last 40 days of our seminar year. So this is like huge, where huge things happen. Like, it's the craziest thing, but in the last 3 months of our fiscal year ends June 30th. And this big old celebration in Dallas, it's called Seminar in July, where we celebrate what we did all year long. And the last 3 months of the year, like, I don't know what this is, but it's something like the last 3 or 4 months, the same amount of productivity happens that happens the other 8 to 9 months of the entire year, just because of it being like the end of our seminar. It's crazy what people will do with a deadline. And so this is when big things happen. And I was just really challenged to, because this year hasn't been as last year, and we're a little bit behind where we were last year. Okay, a lot behind where we were last year. But that doesn't matter, because I believe these next 42 days, big things can happen. And so the reason I'm going to apply this to you is it doesn't matter what happened yesterday in your business. It doesn't matter if you're exactly where you want to be in your business and you just got promoted in your business, or if you feel like, oh my gosh, I must be doing something wrong because I'm not getting the results that I have wanted, and I'm not where I want to put my goals for the month. If that's you, then this is for you. It does not matter what happened yesterday. It does not matter what happened last week. If you make a decision that you want more and that you are really step up your game, anything can happen in these next 40 days. But it's literally a decision. You're a decision away. Like, and one of the things that I heard is people that have been in the business for a while that are skilled but are not where they want to be. It's always because of a limiting belief. It's always because of the 6 inches right in between their ears. And you can change that, and you can work on that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start an accountability group of people who really are going to be intentional about changing those limiting beliefs. And we're going to work through those and process those. But basically, I want each person to be their best at whatever level they're at over these next 42 days. Because I believe we can beat our best last year, and we were way further ahead last year. I believe that we can beat our best this year. And I believe these next 42 days, if each of us do our best and we do more than we've done before, and whatever that may mean, maybe it's you ordered 200 last month. Okay, well, this month let's stretch to 400 and selling that much. You recruited 2 people last month. Let's recruit 4 people this month. That wherever you're at, I want each of you stretching and reaching your best. And when you're reaching your best, we're gonna all be better. Does that make sense? So I am going to be working on splitting our unit and our area up into teams. And so if you're in this room, you're going to be probably on a team, just so you know. I may be taking a picture to see us here. Be reminded. The deal is I'm going to split you guys up into teams, and then we're going to run together these next 40 days. And we're going to have little challenges for these teams, because each of you matter. And matter to your team, and then there's going to be challenges for the different teams. There's going to be team leaders. We're going to make this huge, big rally. There's going to be a crazy push these next 42 days. Be prepared for more prizes, more challenges, more stuff coming at you than ever. You like free stuff? So not only are you going to be making more money in your business, but they're going to be getting more prizes. So I'll be sending all that info. And then also I'm looking for people who I here are the top of our unit. You are the workers. You're the people who want something. You show up to the meetings and you have a desire. But I have another 300 people in my unit who don't show up to the meetings. And we're going to be making calls and calling those people. So you can message me if you have any calls and really rally the troops. Let me know. Because if you want to be a part of this, want to help make calls and really get the whole team on board, let me know. And we're going to do that. But the other thing I want to make sure you know, and this was actually Jan's idea. She's been talking about this forever. You remember this? She's like, what did I talk about? I said, great ideas. Jenna has great ideas. It is, we're going to close the month together. And so the end of this month, May 31st, we're going to be closing the month together, which means if you have a big goal, if you have a desire to wear a jacket on we have seen this happen where when you close a month together and you're like making calls and you are, maybe at the beginning of the day, you're a red jacket and then the end of the day, you're in charge of your car because you are together making calls intentionally with your director. We're going to be in a home and be like, all right, call. We're recruiting people. We're getting orders in. It's powerful to see what happens. And so we're going to be closing the month together. Actually, I'll send it all the info, but put on your day. If you have a big goal and you want to make big things happen, all the directors are going to be there. IQs are going to be there, right? Shouldn't even know about it. Yeah, she's going to be there. She's wanted to. She'll be. She can be finishing directorship. Finishing directorship. Exciting. So 31st. Yeah, we're going to start at 1 o'clock and literally just be making calls till the end of the month and shut it down together. Come with a plan. Yeah, it's not hangout time.
Right. It's not. It doesn't have. Even if you come just to make booking calls to get the month filled up for June. You know what I mean? As long as you're there being productive doing something, it doesn't have to be closing down $1 million, but it can be, I want 5 bookings before I leave. And we're all there rallying together, eating food and cheering everybody on. So
in our little pink bubble.
Don't think you have to have like this huge, I need to make $5,000, whatever kind of goal. You can have I want 5 bookings.
Yeah, it's going to be a working night. It's going to be lots of fun. Okay, and then a couple just nuggets from the weekend. When the dream is big enough, the facts don't matter. So if you have a desire for your car to be in DIQ, to finish directorship by seminar, when your dream is big enough, the facts don't matter. Like I said, it does not matter how many teachers you have right now. If your dream is big and you are so excited about making it happen, you will do the work. The question you have to ask first of all, I want you to ask yourself, what is your dream in the next 42 days? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you love to see happen in the next 42 days? 44, however many there are. And we want to celebrate at seminar. And I want you to tell me, and I want to run with you. And here's a question to ask yourself is, what have I been unwilling to do? Because whatever you've been unwilling to do in your business, that's probably what's holding you back. And for some of you, it may be a business thing like worm chatting or making booking calls, or maybe it's getting up early, working out, maybe it's a personal thing. What have you been unwilling to do? And you have to ask yourself, if this is a dream, what am I willing to do? And what sacrifice am I willing to make? Right? Of course, we're not saying sacrifice anything, unhealthy, but we're just saying like you have to be willing to be uncomfortable if you want something more. Because our comfort zone is actually the biggest thing that holds most people back. Is we want success, but we want to be in our little comfort zone and not do anything scary. And we don't want to step out of our comfort zone, and we want it to happen without stepping out of our comfort zone. Well, good luck. And never, ever, ever happen. That is the long, slow, painful way. Like rip it off the day. Just do it. Do whatever you're afraid of and chase that. One thing I heard Sebastian say is, what are you resisting? What are you resisting the most? Because that's what you need to run to and do it. Whatever that thing is, you got to run to and do it, because that is probably one thing that is holding you back.
Like your destiny lies in what you're avoiding.
Ooh, that's a good one. Your destiny lies in what you're avoiding. Your destiny lies in what you're avoiding. And so I'd encourage you to just think about that in your business. What have you been avoiding? Okay. The last thing I'm going to share with you, I do want you to write these down because this was good. And this lesson I'm trained on that. If you don't know who Lisa Madsen is, she's in Inner Circle National, and she's like the top of the top of the top of the top of the top. And Mary Kay. Write this down. This was so good. This is a tip. This is a practical tip that I would love to see all of you sharing at your party. So after you share your iStory, or wherever around the time that you share about marketing, you ask these 3 questions at every skincare class. And you ask them, I want you to think about in your situation. So the first question is, at your current job, do you have all the flexibility that you want? So you ask them to just think about it. At your current job, do you have all the flexibility that you want? So each of the guests just asking this for themselves. So at your current job, do you have all the flexibility you want? That's the first question. Everyone got it? Second question is, at your job, are you getting all the recognition that you want? Well, that's going to be no, because nobody gets recognized much of their job. So the second question is, at your job, are you getting all the recognition that you want? And are you feeling appreciated? That kind of thing. Third question is, and I love this question. At your job, if you gave it your guts and gave it your best for the next 5 years, could you radically change your financial situation? Yeah. At your job, if you gave it your best for the next 5 years, could you radically change your financial situation? Say it one more time, because that one's long. At your job, if you gave it your best for the next 5 years, could you radically change your financial situation? And then you just say, if your answer is no to any of these questions, then listen to what I have to say. And you go into sharing your life story. That good? There's a little practical tip that if you want to team build and get good at it, that I would encourage you to start asking those questions at every single facial and speaker class that you do, and then share your life story and share your goals, and make sure you share a little bit about the business. Got it? Got it. Okay, so now I will shut up, and those of you that are looking for more fun information to follow tomorrow morning. All right, without any further ado, I want Miss Miranda Kantor to come down. Okay. Get on your feet, you might Okay, so I'm doing this Miranda, but I'm doing your accolades. I just realized we have to say, okay. That means she's a big deal. Okay, this ring right here. That ring means that she was in the top 3 of her debuting class as a new director.
Which one did you see? The purple?
No.
Oh, that wasn't.
I saw that ring. I've never seen that ring on any other Medicaid director, and that means that we both were in. So I don't know much about her accolades, but all I know, and it was so funny because it's such a God thing. Miranda, we were in Vegas, and she's like, "Can I come to your meeting?" And then we were talking at lunch, and then I'm like, "Hey, I would like you to come." And then she messaged me back this morning and said, "Yeah, I want to come today." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay." It worked out perfect. But I just remember when I moved to Colorado, Miranda, I remember you were speaking at Career Conference, and I have always looked up to you ever since I moved here. You have just been someone who I know is doing things the right way and is a hard worker and really has part of this company. So I don't know what her accolades are, you guys, but all I know is she is incredible, and I'm excited to have you guys here from her. And I'm excited to get to know you better and to be like you. So thank you for coming and speaking to my people. So it's all yours, girl. You take it away and share whatever you want to share.
Well,
You can sit or stand, whatever you want
I'm
to do.
gonna try to sit, but sometimes I think better just to sit. But I'm so honored to be here. I was telling my husband because we were actually down here. I don't know if any of you are familiar with golf.
U.S. Senior Open. Oh.
But my daughter she's a freshman in high school, and she qualified for her state golf down here at the Country Club of Colorado. And it's a really big deal. It's something that you have to qualify for. And so for her to be in it as a freshman, it's a really big deal. And so it's so cool because anyway, my husband, he dropped me off here in our Yukon. Because we had to pull down a camper. And my husband is so funny. He's like, "Yes, we use the camper. So we're staying at some campground." And I was sweaty after walking 18 holes. Goodness, there's a shower in our camper, but it's it's like Elf, where he's in the shower. That's how it was the whole time I was getting ready. I'm just like this. I have my hair dryer, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, the lighting is horrible. I'm like, okay, I'm really gonna have to just do my makeup in the car. And it was hilarious. But he's like, it's gonna be fine. I was like, no, you don't understand. I'm like, Candace, coming to speaking Candace and her people, it's like going to Jennifer Aniston's house. And I was like, yes. Like, they were like number one in the nation last year. Like, this was a big deal. And so, but I always admired Candace too from afar because I've been loved in Colorado. And so, you know, I don't come down to Colorado Springs like ever. And oh my gosh, there's nobody deserving to have that title. And you guys know what a big deal that is. I'm sure you've been told over and over and over again. But for you guys to be part of that is huge. And that means that every single one of you is going places. You know, no matter where you're at right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are part of something huge, and you need to rally like crazy to June 30th. Like, do not give up. Do not. I mean, that is what he always wants you to do. He always wants you to give up. He's always going to give you a test. But every single one should be part of that. You know, and you guys have it. You have what it takes because you did last year. You know, and so, but I'm to be here, and by the way, my daughter, I brag on her a little bit. So I've been in Mary Kay for 14 years, and I truly believe that you can always tell when your kids come from a Mary Kay family. And you don't even realize it until they get to my daughter's age, where she's, you know, 15 years old. And I have been observing her just in sports, and especially on the golf course, and her head game is so strong. And when I was in 9th grade, I was playing golf, I'd have a bad hole, and I would just down. I would be bawling to my coach, and I was just, ah. And she, seriously, either she's just born with a poker face, or it's just the fact that she's been in a Mary Kay home, and I think it is, because she's seen me fall down so many times and get back up. Fall down and get back up. Fall down and get back up. So she knows what it's like when you come to the hole, and you just want to, like, give up. But she doesn't, and you can't even tell. And her competitors out there today stared at her when she had those bad holes. They waited for her to break down. They waited for her, and she was the crab that came out of the bucket today and didn't let anybody else drag her down. She watched the girls in her completely, not that we wanted that, you know, but I was just so proud of her because even when they had a bad hole, she'd go up to them and go, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But when she had a bad hole, you couldn't even tell. So she had a really bad hole, and I was telling Candace this, had 2 bad holes back to back. And she, I mean, on the scoreboard, on the leaderboard, it looked like she had no chance in the world. This was out of 84 girls out there today. And she goes to the next hole, hits one straight down the fairway, like you just tell she had had it. She's like, "This, I'm done. I'm done." And she gets up there, hits another one, and then she hits her third shot. And it's called a par 5. So par 5, to get a par, that's like in 5 shots. Well, she hits it into the hole from 100 yards on her first shot. And it was funny because, you know, you think she'd be the Tiger Woods, like this pump. Right. You know, she hit it, and she actually like went down to pick up her head cover, put the thing in her back. Everybody saw it going except for her. Like, she didn't even know it. They're like, everyone's like, woohoo! And she's like, what in the world? And they're like, it went in. And she's like, oh. And she just kept walking. I would be like, that's what it was. I know, champagne. So it was so funny because she just is so like, nothing phases her. And I'm sure inside, because she's like, I couldn't even breathe on the first home. And I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell the whole time. And I truly believe it's because she's just so headstrong, because I told her over and over and over again, you know, people will always try to put the fear of God into you for one reason or the other, you know, and you have to fight in this world for what you want to be. So you have to think about tonight, like, have you ever sat down and thought about who you want to be in this world? Really thought about it, like taking some time by yourself and been like, this is the person I want to be. This is the mom I want to be. This is the wife I want to be. This is the sister. This is the daughter. Who you want to be, okay, to those around you. And just not letting anybody else having that impact on you to drag you down to the level that you don't want to be at. And it's the hardest thing that you'll have to do in this lifetime. I truly believe that. And so I'll tell you real quick about my story. My story could be 5 hours long, but I won't make it 5
I
hours.
have to share real quick because what you shared with me too. Your daughter. Her daughter's a freshman. And what did you say? She's number 4 out of like 84 people.
Yeah.
Oh, something like that. So like that's a huge deal. And to have mental toughness as a freshman. Sorry, I know you were on your exam.
No, that's right. And
That's
so
incredible. She's a freshman and has that kind of mental discipline. I was a hot mess as a freshman.
and she did. She came off the 18th hole, and finally I could give her a hug because she can't talk to anybody but her coach. So I came up and was like, "Can I give you a hug now?" And she's not a hugger. She's just not. I'm gonna have to break her because when she becomes a Mary Kay consultant. Just like, okay, she gives me a hug, and I was like, and I knew that she was, because the leaderboard, I mean, it was updated all the time. So at that point in time, she was in 5th place out of 84 girls. Had no clue. She just made it through the round. And she comes back, she goes to hand in her scorecard, comes back, and she goes, "I'm 4th." And I was like, "Yeah." And still, like, if I was 4th, I would be like, and she's like, "I'm 4th," and you could tell she was excited. But one thing she told me a couple of tournaments ago, there's a girl on her team that is signing with New Mexico, and they're really good friends. She's the number 1 on the team, and Taylor's number 2 as a freshman. It's a huge deal. But she goes, "Mom, she goes, I can get interviewed by the newspaper," because Lauren was always getting interviewed. And the Loveland Reporter Herald guy, the sports guy, was there today. She comes back, and she's like, and he goes, "Hey, Taylor, will you come over here for a second with me?" And he's got his recorder. He's like, "Do you want to do your interview now, or do you want to do it later?" And she's like, "I'll do it now." And it was so cool because I was like, she didn't get it. It could have been so easy for her. And there were girls out there that gave up all day long, and she never gave up. She just didn't. And I told her, last night I sent her, I love YouTube for a lot of things. Some things not, but I do love YouTube for this. So if you ever need affirmations and anything, so I look up golf affirmations, and there's like tons. And I found this one, it's like 10 minutes, and it's like this background. And this guy kind of has a creepy voice. But I'm like, you need to listen to this. It's 10 minutes long, and it's like soothing music. It's like, "I will make every putt." Like all these like affirmations that we say in Mary Kay, except it's about golf. And then I sent her a little affirmation last night, and I said, "I want you to say this throughout the day." And it was just, like 3 or 4 simple sentences, just about what she was going to do. And it was focusing on every single shot. And when I came to Mary Kay, I thought affirmations were seriously crazy. Just I thought vision boards were crazy. I'm like, who does this? Like crazy? I don't know. And now I'm like affirmation crazy. And I love affirmations. And so the whole golf team, I get there this morning, and all of them were listening to the YouTube as they were warming up. And it's so cool because right now they're in 1st place as a team. And not that it's my affirmation, but I'm going to take that. And they have some work to do tomorrow, but oh my gosh, it just was a
Power of affirmations, man.
Yeah.
Now I need to know how it ends up. You're gonna have to let Candace know how it ends up.
They have some tough competition, but yeah, it'll be good. So anyway, when I came into Mary Kay, Mary Kay found me when I was a special education teacher, and I taught special education for a total of about 6 years. And when I actually went to the University of Wyoming, that's where I'm from, it's Wyoming, and I went and got my master's degree. Then I came back to Wyoming, and I started the PhD program. My dream was to be a professor. If you ask me why, I would tell you I don't know why. I just thought, oh, that's kind of a cool goal. I'll just be a professor. And so I found that I wasn't happy. I had a 1-year-old at home, and I just was like, I felt like a void. I couldn't even tell you why. I just couldn't even tell you why. I just was always looking for something different. And I ran into a girl I knew from high school, and she played bunco with me. And I was bunco crazy. And I asked her, I was like, yo, have a teaching degree. Like, why do you do Mary Kay? And at the time, I was researching every single company alive, like candle companies and scrapbooking, but I never researched anything with cosmetics because, to tell you the truth, I really didn't do much with cosmetics. Like, I was a school teacher. I didn't own a skirt. I didn't wear makeup really. I didn't wash my face with anything like that. I was just, you know, religious too. Like, I just thought if someone would have said Mary Kay to me, I would have been like, oh, like, girl, ladies. No, I really did. Like, I just didn't know anything about it. And she's like, why do Mary Kay? And she's like, and you would just die if you saw what I did every day and then saw my paycheck. And instantly I was like, really? Like, and I knew who she was because I went to high school with her. And so I was like, tell me more, tell me more. So she sat down with me, and I'm not kidding you, in about 30 minutes, I had signed up. She'd gone through inventory with me. I placed my inventory order, and I was off and running. Did I think I could do it? Absolutely not. But I was desperate because I went to my job. I loved it, but I hated everything else. I hated the paycheck. I hated the politics. I hated the way that people made me feel. I hated that it was negative. There was just so much that I went home, and I took home, and it was like my family got not the best of me. They got what was left of me. And I'm sure you guys have heard that, but that is exactly how I felt. And so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna just try this and see what happens. And but it was more than that. Like, I just caught a vision instantly. I was sold on it, and I truly believe it was a God thing. It was something that I just, in my heart, I was like, there's something about this. And there was something telling me, you've got to do this full on. And for the first time in my life, I didn't fight it. I wasn't stubborn. I did exactly what my recruiter told me to do. And in 4 months, I earned my first free car, and pretty much my teaching income between my sales and my commissions. And it's really cool. And I'm sure Candace, because she moved pretty fast too, it's really cool on our 1099 report to see my first paycheck, my first recurring paycheck was, I'm pretty sure, around $50. And 6 months later, my highest paycheck was like $45. You know, and that was just in commissions. And so, for those of you who think that it's not possible, it's possible. It's a decision. And a decision is a decision, but a decision is action, and it's always backed by action every single. And no matter what my schedule looked like, you know, we didn't have. Gosh, did we have cell phones in 2004? I don't know.
Yeah, we did.
But we didn't have texting. We didn't have texting.
Yeah.
So I would have these little breaks in my teaching, and I would actually pick up the phone and call people and leave messages on their answering machines. And I was constantly booking through there. I looked for opportunities on my lunch hour. We go set up facial boxes. Like, I did everything in those 4 months. You know, I didn't use my 60-hour-a-week job. The fact that my 1-year-old was going to daycare, and you know, I had significant problems as far as getting the greatest care, but it gave me urgency. And I truly believe that God places those things in your life, you know, things that are in your life, to go, you need to do this. You need to do this. And I was determined to stay home with her that next year. So I did. I replaced my income, became a director 6 months after I started, and it was great. And I loved it. I mean, I love everything you guys probably love about it. I don't have to sell you on Mary Kay today, so I'm going to tell you like why I love this. Because you guys are obviously consultants. But I do feel like that in the journey you're always going to be tested. You know, and they say with every devil is like another devil. You know, and it really was my story. And I think that it presents itself in totally different ways, and you can either, you know, take it as it comes and learn from it and know that you're being groomed for something bigger, or you can just go, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. And I wasn't about to do that. So I was married. I was in a relationship with my ex-husband for 16 years. And this is a really hard thing for me to talk about. If I get through this without crying, it will be amazing, because this is probably the hardest part of my journey thus far. So I ended up having 3 daughters, and I thank my lucky stars every day I was able to stay home with them. I was able to earn a great income. We lived in Laramie, Wyoming. My ex-husband had a great job, and it just was, you know, it was great. So I thought it was. And, you know, we were doing great. We got $500,000 as a unit. And that's the thing, is you never know. You never know when life's going to happen. And they say, work your business when you can work it. You never know when you're not going to be able to. And in that process of having my 3 daughters, my youngest actually was born early. And she was born early because my second daughter, who was only 16 months old, it was the third one. I didn't plan that.
That was mine.
Yeah. So anyway, she was in the hospital with really severe group RSV, and I was on my back the whole time with her on my chest, and I was about 8 months pregnant. Well, I was basically in the hospital for 2 months because I left for a week after Reese was all okay, and then I went into labor with Jordan, and she was about 3 weeks early, and almost 4 weeks, and she was born and her lungs were developed. So I literally could not do anything as far as full employment for 2 months. But I was in the hospital. I got nurses as team members. I sold to them. It was wonderful because I got to work with, on the phone in the hospital. And it just, I love that part of the business. And so always embrace, when you can work and when you can't, it's always nice to go, oh my gosh, I love that I can take my work with me. And so that was kind of a rough patch, and we kept going. And, it was one of those things where my ex-husband and I didn't always have the best relationship. And when I was growing up, my parents were a very happy couple. They had their fights here and there, but they were short about 50 years of marriage. My dad passed away about 1.5 years ago, and at the young age of 67, just died of a heart attack, and I'll get to that in a second. But it was crazy because I found myself in a very, very abusive relationship. Now, mind you, when I came into Mary Kay, I had very severe anxiety. I was born with anxiety. I've had it my whole life. I deal with it every single day. I get nervous about everything. And I will tell you that Mary Kay has been the best medication for my anxiety. I could have never talked to you guys when I first joined Mary Kay. I could barely even talk to one person at a facial, let alone do a skincare class. And so I became a totally different person in the process from starting Mary Kay to, when my kids started to get a little bit older. And one day we were moving into a house, and I went upstairs, and my ex-husband and I got in a fight, and he grabbed my arm and said some really bad things, and it hurt really bad, and it was kind of like the light switch went off, and I was like, wait, what did you say to me? How did you talk to me? How did you touch me like that? And it was all of a sudden I was like, this doesn't feel good. And I started to really realize how scared I was every single day. And I really started to go, whenever I was traveling, I never wanted to go home. I missed my kids when I was traveling, but I found that I was traveling a lot, but I never wanted to go home. And when I go home, it hurts, and I was scared. It's kind of like in the movies when you see the doorknob turn, and there's that music. It was like I dreaded him coming home every day, and what he'd say to me, and nothing was ever good enough. And so I didn't have a bad childhood where I had a very abusive environment. I was never educated on emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse. And that day when he actually touched me, and I knew that wasn't right, but I did know things that he was saying to me. And as I became more successful in my business, the abuse became worse and worse and worse. And when I wasn't the person that I wanted to be at the beginning of the relationship, that was who he wanted me to be. He wanted me to be shy and no confidence and no self-esteem. He wanted me like that. He was very controlling, very, very narcissistic. And I started to just really get scared. And I thought, I have 3 kids with this man. I can't just leave. Now, because of my business, financially, would I be okay? Yes. But breaking my family apart, I was like, how much can I endure? How much can I endure? And I stuck as long as I could. And we moved down to Colorado. We separated for a little bit, and we moved down to Colorado. This was about 6 years ago. And we bought a house together. And before that, I called my dad. And my dad was the one that, when we got married, he was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Like the night before my wedding. And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay." You know, and my parents were never the type to go, "He's not the guy for you." You know, they were kind of willing to let me make my own mistakes. But I kind of thought, you know, our relationship wasn't great. I remember our honeymoon, and it was nonstop fighting. And it was just made me feel horrible. Like, I never felt good with him, ever. I remember we moved to Colorado, and we met some new friends, and we had an over. And I remember in Laramie, I never invited people over because of the things that he would say to me in front of people to make me feel awful. We'd be at Mary Kay events, and he would tell people she works all the time, she's never with her kids. She was totally not true. And I didn't realize, I was like, "Why did you say that?" You know, I just was like, just things that just like digs, you know. And so anyway, we moved down to Colorado, and I just called my mom, and I said, I talked to Dad, and I said, "I just can't do this anymore." I said, "I just can't do this anymore." And I was like, "You know, you can start this." But Mom, I can't, like, I can't. And I left, and he did everything to keep me. Everything in his power. And it was unhealthy things, you know, but he did everything. And I remember, it's like a fog now. I remember going to Walmart at 1:00 in the morning, and I just secured a rental property. And I remember going, and I knew that I was going to leave that house with nothing but my office and my clothes. Because he's like, "You're not taking anything, you're not taking this, you're not taking this, you're not taking that." And I was like, "The kids, yes. I mean, legally you can't just take the kids. I'll leave the material things. I don't care. Even though I probably paid for every single one of those things. I don't care. I don't care." And I left, and you know, I knew that my kids were really little, so I knew that they would never understand, and I didn't worry about that. What I worried about was the women they were going to become. And I was like, if I can control that, then I want them to know that that's not okay. That is not okay. My oldest daughter was in 3rd grade, and to this day she remembers. She remembers the at 3rd grade. She doesn't remember anything good. And I remember I never shed a tear. Never shed a tear after I left. I mean, never missed him, nothing. And I was fighting for the person that I wanted to be. And I think you always have to remember that. How bad your situation is, you like have to be the temple. And you have to remember that you can't let other people decide your destiny. And a lot of times we do, you know, even my mom, knowing what was going on, she's like, you can't do this to the girls. And I'm like, long term though, really? But that is where Mary Kay has really saved my life. Yes, it allowed me to stay home with my children, you know, all those great things. It gave me financial stability, but the big thing, you guys, is that it allowed me to fight for who I wanted to be and who I wanted my girls to be. And you have to remember that what you're doing now in the business that you're working for now, you have no idea what tomorrow will bring. You have no idea. And it scares the living heck out of me to think about where I would be if I would have let fear just take hold and, you know, kept me in that same place. And it's, you know, I think that the big thing now is I always had that podium, like, I want to be that person that always gives people that opportunity to make their own choices in life, to be able to, this opportunity is great for that. And now the podium I stand on is one where if you've ever seen anybody in a relationship that you know isn't right, or if you're in it, you know, get out. Get out, because it's not worth it. And you have no idea the impact that you might have on other people after making that decision. But I remember as a single mom, I was a single mom for 4 years, and I just sat there. I was like, I didn't mind it. Like, I really didn't. I think for the first time, I felt like I could go home. I wasn't scared. I went home and I wasn't worried about someone making me feel bad about myself or not good enough. Or yelling profanity at me. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, and it was tough being a single mom. How many of you are single moms? Okay. So, you know, there's single moms everywhere, and it's empowering. We have a really hard job, but I love that Mary Kay gave me the ability to just do Mary Kay. And it empowered me to share this opportunity with other single moms that were holding down like 5 or 6 other jobs and were never there for their kids. And so, you know, I found a win in every single area in Mary Kay. But I remember thinking, you know, no one's going to want me. But I tore down so bad, you guys, that the things that I thought about myself, even though I had my success in my business, even though I had my success in my business, I just remember saying, no one's going to want me. No one's going to want me. No one's going to want to ever have a life with me. I have 3 kids, and I have so much baggage. I have a broken heart. I was just broken, you know. And I can tell you that there is love out there. There's so much love out there, and really allowed me to grow my faith. And my best friend, the love of my life, became God. I never really had a true faith. I had faith in God, but I didn't really ever go to God for my problems. I never did. And I started going to church religiously, and I grew a relationship with him. And it was the best thing I ever did, because I felt like I had to be okay with myself. I had to be okay with my brokenness. I had to realize that I was awesome and that I still had a lot to offer other people. But it was hard. I mean, it was so hard to say that it was easy. No, like there were so many times I was just like, I just want to give up on life. Have you guys ever felt like that? Like, just like I'm just done, you know? I was like, no, there's tomorrow. There's tomorrow, and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be the best person that I can be. And so then my husband Matt came along, and that was totally a God thing. And I met him, and he has been the one to just make me realize that there is love out there, that you know, he like treats me seriously like I'm just a queen. Like I'm never used to it. I'm like, okay, how long is this gonna last? And I just realized that how horrible it was, you know. And I just wish one thing I could do would be to educate women on what's okay and what's not okay, because it would have changed everything. And so I of course love him to death. I'm thankful for him every single day. But he didn't really grow up in the American world, so I kind of had to recruit him. You know? And he went on a trip with me up to Wyoming, and I probably did about 8 marketing plans on the way up there. And by the 8th, he's like, this is a really cool business. This is when we started dating. I was like, yeah. And he's like, I kind of want to do Mary Kay. And I was like, yeah, you probably do. And he's like, I think everybody should do Mary Kay. It was awesome because I never had that support system. You know, my ex-husband loved my paycheck, but he did not support anything else. You know, anything else in it. And I love that is just 100% on. It's important that you guys have, whether if it's not your husband, you have somebody, even if it's just your sales director, even if it's just your recruiter, that you have someone in, you know, praying for you and cheering for you all the time, because it is so incredibly important. And whenever you feel like just giving up, because and I hope that you hear me in all the different ways that this business has saved me. But if I can give that gift to anybody else, it's huge, because what else out there can give you all of that? Really? I mean, no. If this is something that I feel like all of you are in this room for a reason. You're totally in here for a reason. And you know, people say that people come into your life for a season, reason, or a lifetime. You know, and my recruiter during all this, stepped away, went to teaching, even though I found her not teaching, right, because there was a bigger paycheck, and she decided to step away. And you know why she decided to step away? because she had never earned her Cadillac because she had never done the work. And she's like, even if I did earn my Cadillac, my biggest fear is that it would be taken away. Is that like the dumbest thing you've ever heard? It's like saying, well, I'd be a red jacket, but then what if one of my team members went inactive? I wouldn't be a red jacket anymore. Just dumb.
You just get another one to put in order, because that's where I'm at right now.
And you guys have to get past, you have to get past the scoreboard, the path and everything else. Because the more people that you bless through this, the more success you will have. And the career path is going to go like this all the time. The scoreboard is going to go like this all the time. But it never determines what success will be in this. The more people you bless, the more success that you will have. And I know you guys all know that because I meet some wonderful women every single day. So, but in all of this, my mom passes away a year and a half ago. I get a call from my mom, and she's like, she said, your dad's gone. And, they live down in Mesquite, Nevada, and they love to gamble. And my mom was sitting at a machine playing video poker, and they love video poker. I just played in Vegas. And they said, you need to come to security. She ran over there and was having trouble breathing. She went over and he was like on his last breath. He waited until she came with us and he went. Yeah. So 67, that I still can't talk about. Yeah. And I can tell you guys that I was 2 months away from getting married, and my dad was going to walk me down the aisle. And he had just spent that just a few months before. And I could tell he liked Matt. And he was probably the first guy that my dad ever liked. And I had people go, are you still getting married? Are you still getting married? I'm like, of course. Like, my dad wouldn't. But Matt and I got on a plane because I could do that in my job. We went as soon as that happened and called my mom, just those next few days. It was awful. It was horrible. My parents were patriarchs, so they were short of 50 years of marriage. And he was going to see a specialist that next week, a heart specialist, and he never made it. And it's funny how that works because she ended up coming back to Colorado with us and moved in with us 2 months before we got married. And I just kept asking, are you okay? Because he's like, I'm totally okay. He's like, this is your family. Like, this is our family. So we had her dog and her in their basement. He had his dog and him. And he moved from the basement because we tried to keep a separate, just to set an example for the girls. And so he had to move back upstairs. And then I had my daughters, and oh my gosh, it was like a full house. We got married. I mean, it was a whirlwind. And she, I love the fact that I didn't have to go to work every day because of her broken heart. I was there for her, and probably for that first 6 months, I didn't leave her side. And I couldn't have done that if I wouldn't have had my Mary Kay. I took her to my Mary Kay meetings. I made her part of everything that I could. She's my mom. And now she is full-on grandma. She has her days. She definitely has her days. But it's amazing how God orchestrates things in your life. And you have really hard times and you want to give up. You just want to give up. But you have to know that the hardest times when you just feel like, oh my gosh, this is crushing me. I can't handle it anymore. It's God just preparing to give you more blessings. And you just have to believe that. And I've been tested over the last few years, and I'm like, okay, I'm good now. I can work. But I always know life will happen again. But what is your journey? What is your story going to be? You know what I mean? Embrace your story. You guys, if you stand this forever and you just have this flawless story and nothing, you're just like, oh yeah, every booking held, I recruited them.
We finished in 1 month.
You know what I
We
mean?
never left church.
Yes, there is always going to be resistance in your journey, and you have to just. It has helped me so much. It's almost like God gave me a list to go, I'm helping you with your anxiety. You know? So and it does. So I could go on and on, but I just want you to know that my journey's been anything but easy, you know. And there's always a way. If you're that find a way, make a way woman, and I know all of you in here are. But it's been crazy. I love it though. I love it. I embrace craziness. You have to with 3 daughters, right? Yeah, you just have to. So yes. You have 3 daughters? I do. Yes, you know all about that. So yes. So Candace just asked me after I was done just showing my story if you have any questions for me. I'd love to answer, and if not, it's fine too.
I just want to hug you. I lost my dad a year and a half ago too, and I'm getting married in 3 months, so I know the struggle behind it.
Yes.
I got lots going on. You're breaking my heart over here.
He's there, and he will be there. He will be there. I was getting ready for my wedding. I was trying to keep it together. You know, I just, of course, had anxiety getting married. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like to the max. And I've always chose to deal with my anxiety in other ways other than medicine. I run religiously and I exercise religiously in the morning because that is how I deal with my day. If I don't exercise, you don't want to be around me. Right? I just nervous wreck all the time. So I run, and I remember that morning, of course, it was my wedding. I was like, I can't go run. I can't even breathe right now. And I remember getting ready, and I asked somebody that came in. I said, how's the weather outside? Because it was kind of iffy that day. And they're like, you could just tell. And I was like, is it raining? And they're like, no. And it was freezing outside. And I mean, it was like September 24th. And I remember going out and getting in the car because we got married on the golf course. And the guy took me down behind the tree, and all of a sudden, it was like really cloudy, and all of a sudden the clouds just parted, and this is seriously what happened. The clouds parted, the little breeze stopped, and it just shined. And I got out, and my mom was like, your dad's here. That's here. And it was seriously the most beautiful day, and it started out to be cloudy. It looked like it was going to rain. And it was seriously, I think it was God's way of going, he's here. He's here. Because as I walked down the aisle, I was just like, I couldn't even look at anybody. My mom's like smiling. I was like, I can't because I'm just falling. And I was like, my pictures are going to look horrible. I was like, and I was the whole time, like Matt was up there crying. And I was just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not wearing water for this. And so I was just walking down the aisle, and it was, oh gosh, it's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard.
I know. It's going to be the best, worst day of my life.
Yes.
Altogether. I already know it. But
yeah.
I decided, so my sister and my brother both got married the year my dad passed in 2016. So they both got it. But they both have a really beautiful picture of him on their wedding day. So I'm actually going to put a picture of him at each of their wedding day on my shoes. So he's walking me down here. So it'll be good. I'll have my little thing to him, and no one needs to know. Like, I don't care if everyone sees it or not. It's for me.
Yeah.
And I believe a lot in like mediums and stuff now, because I've just had some really cool experiences. And I went this week, and the medium, one of the first things he said to me, he said, your dad wants you to know that he'll be wearing a tux at your wedding. And he'll be so I know. So
yeah, we will.
Me too. Can I hug you now?
Of course. Oh, yeah. Isn't it funny how like stories cross, and it's just crazy, who would have known?
Mm-hmm.
And so, any questions? Well, thank you. And you guys are amazing and seriously rally to the end. And you never know whose lives you're going to bless in the meantime. Just remember that. Okay? Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Oh, Are these straps?
Sorry.
No.
No.
There you go.
Oh, I
That's how we
do.
close it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't talk as loud as the cameras. Yes, yes. So I imagine her like as a child and all the teachers going, use your instinct. And she's like, what? You know? Yeah. So, all right. I am great.
I am great.
I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
I am a woman of excellence.
I am a woman of excellence.
I am a superstar.
I am a superstar.
I will let nobody push my buttons.
I will let nobody push my buttons.
I will let nobody rain on my parade.
I will let nobody rain on my parade.
I will go over.
I will go over.
I will go under.
I will go under.
I will go around.
I will go around.
And straight through.
And straight through.
Any obstacle that comes my way.
Any obstacle that comes my way.
Because I am truly, because I am highly motivated.
Because I am highly motivated.
Truly dedicated.
Truly dedicated.
And I am a future free car driver in the making.
And I am a future free car driver in the making.
Oh, Sarah. Oh, Sarah.
I know he was. I got 90. And I got the last one. By the way,